is up? Welcome back. I know it's been a minute. I've been busy with work. I'm taking a day off today, and I started doing a little bit of work with the free time that I had. I had some other shit to do, but I'm doing this now, and I'm doing some new stuff. So let me explain what I'm doing. So right now, you can see I'm screwing some wood to the bus. Finally, I'm building something. And I decided to start with doing this. The insulation is pretty much done. I finished that just about off camera, besides that area and that back area and up in there, because that I don't really know how I can secure that because I can't get the tape up in there. But yeah, it's been a little while. But this is gonna be my garage or storage area inside the garage, inside the bus. And I redid the tape markings because I got a little bit different layout than what I had before. So under the bed or futon couch is going to be a storage compartment that's going to fit these gray bins. So I can fit 4 of them. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'll have an extra little cubby there. So basically what I'm doing right now, because the couch is going to sit on top of this, or the futon, I'm making that, I screwed that rail in, and a piece of plywood is going to sit over top of that. I got some legs that I cut, which are going to go down this line basically to make a platform over those, because these can't hold weight necessarily. So I'm going to make a platform that goes across there up to here. My dresser goes in this square here, and that, so I couldn't be able to open the drawers, the lower drawers, because the bed would be there. So this pulls out. This will slide out. It's on wheels. So I can slide that out to open the drawers and then put it back away when it's not in use, because I'm not getting dressed all day long. And so the idea is that through the entranceway, you'd be able to access this cubby that goes through here, and also through that doorway, you could access that cubby. And then the couch or the futon will go. This first marking is with it closed and pushed up. So that'll be where the end of the couch is when it's fully shut. And then when it's down, it'll go to there. It's just a couple inches more pulled out. So not very much. And then from there to the bins is going to be all extra storage. So I'll have some little bins that I can pull in and out from right there. But I'm building that first, which will give me a bench to sit on and work on and put stuff on and under. And I'm using all scrap wood. So I had these little strips here, and I'm using sheet metal screws that I already had to put them into these frames. So I got this running across. This is like 16 inches high to right here. So it'll fit these bins and give me a little extra room so that I don't have to struggle too much to get them in and out. And right now I'm just covering up these bottom portions so the insulation stays in and doesn't get caught on anything sliding in and out of here. And again, just using scrap cutoffs that I am reshaping out there. So yeah, I put that one in. I'm gonna move to this next piece, and then I already got the legs, so then I just need to cut out the piece to go over top. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'll show you as I go along, I guess. Here's where we're at. I got this put up. It's screwed into the rail back there, so that's pretty stable. This was a little bit flimsy or flexible because this isn't very thick. I think, what is this, 1/4 inch, if that? Yeah, it's 1/4 inch. So it's 1/4 inch is not, you know, like load bearing plywood, but it's what I have on deck. So this is just about 2 feet right there. So I put a 2x4 up under there, and that freaking majorly stiffened it up. So I'm also going to do that on the other side to give it support there. But that 2x4 right there is basically the perfect size. I just gotta shave a little bit off the end, which is now encouraging me to get the AC off the floor and out of the way. So like I said, I have a riv nut kit. I got it right here. These are 5/16 18. So I made a cardboard template as per usual with all the holes, and I marked a few of them up here, and I'm gonna drill those out, try to get some riv nuts installed, see how this goes. All right, a little jump forward. I did get the AC unit put up there. It's not, I mean, I want to secure it a little bit more. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm confident that that is fully secure, but I want to put like maybe a little L bracket or something to support the back, since I only have 1, 2, and 3. Since this one, I didn't drill it quite right, and it wouldn't have lined up anyways very well because it's right on the seam. So I put those ones in, and I'll put another little bracket there at some point, but this was very difficult because this is like at the maximum weight that I'm able to freaking hold at a specific, you know, position above my head. So it was very awkward and had to use all of my strength and almost wasn't able to do it. But I got it up. That's basically where the lines will route. And that'll stay where it is and be out of the way. I got this box. I put the other piece of wood there, or the other 2x4 that supports this. So it is extremely sturdy now. Not that any weight will be directly pinpointed over there. It'll be well dispersed over this whole area. So that'll be great. Storage bins fit underneath there, so I can fit all my bins of shit down there and probably have some extra room even. And then again, this will be more storage with just some pull-out cubes. And I also put this up, which is gonna be the divider wall. It's not secured to the roof because, well, that's just a hole right there. So I'll have to devise a system for doing that. I'll probably just put a piece of wood across the roof or something like that to support that. I had a problem with these sheet metal screws going through here. Even though I pre-drilled it, they kept snapping off, but it's secure on there. They just don't have heads, so I'll have to smoothen those out so I don't cut myself ever on it. But this is screwed into that. This board is screwed into the wood subfloor, so that is on there. It's just the top, and it's pretty well level and square. This does need to get flattened off a little bit because there's a tiny bit of a lip. It's just barely noticeable, but I want to make sure that was level with the floor and the roof of the bus basically. But we got that done. We got that done. I mean, it's not fully finished. There's still that little section there, and I got to put some legs on that part. But the bottom is enclosed. The top is enclosed. So that's good. We got the main bench done, and it is sturdy. I can sit on that if I wanted to and not be afraid of it breaking, which is awesome. Hello and welcome. It is a new day, so a new adventure. It is pretty warm today, and it's supposed to be pretty warm today. It's fairly warm outside right now. It's very cloudy, but it's supposed to be hitting the 50s today. So it's been freezing every other day. So I think I need to do the water heater install today because that requires silicone, and I need a warm day to do that. So I think that's what we're gonna do. As you can see, I have something in here. We are also gonna go over some other stuff. There's a diesel heater right there. This is a propane instant water heater, tankless water heater. And we're gonna go over some pricing, how much I paid for some stuff, and what else I have, and how far into the bus I am money wise, and also so I can reveal this to you, and you know, we can get it installed. But basically, I got this on eBay. It was refurbished, so I got a really good initial price on it. Plus, there was some random coupon that got added on too, so got an even better deal on it. I paid a ridiculously low price for a water heater that you will not be able to pay anywhere else, basically, unless you buy one used. And I know there's some controversy on these because some people like them, some people don't. I've never used any RV water heater, so it's not like I'm gonna be you know, used to a propane, like a tank water heater or whatever. But from what I hear, you turn the water on, give it a couple seconds, this instantly heats it up right to the temperature you set it to, and it'll do that for as long as you have propane and water to run through it. So that sounds nice to me. It looks pretty clean and nice. It seemed fairly simple to install and set up based off the instructions. There's just cold water in, hot water out, 12 volt power, and the display, and then propane in. This goes to the outside. I gotta cut that hole there so that this slides in. And I also read in the instructions that it needs to be supported because it's meant to like slide on to the floor. But since I have this support member there and I don't want to cut all the way to the bottom of that, I'm gonna have to make some kind of support method in here for this, because I want it to slide right over that, basically. So I'll have to put a piece of wood or something in there to support it. But yeah, let's get situated real quick. All right, so like I said, we're gonna go over some pricing of like what I paid. I did do search for coupons. If you're doing stuff like this, search for coupons. There's always hidden little discounts here and there. You just gotta look for them. But I'll maybe do some on-screen graphics along with this and some other stuff. But basically, here's where we're at. Bus cost $2,500. Not a horrible price for a bus, but it was a little rotted out, so it needed some work. But thankfully, the subfloor was good, and so $2,500 bus. We spent $332.90 on rust repair supplies. So that would be the replacement floor pan, all the metal that we bought, paint, sealer, stuff like that, towards rust repair. And that's for the stairs and the driver's floorboard, and the seat upgrade. So $332.90 for that. Now I also bought a bunch of parts for this bus. It needs exhaust manifolds, the hardware for the exhaust manifolds. I bought an engineer filter, plugs and coils, a battery, wipers, the engine cover latch, as you saw. And I also had to I had to take it to a tire shop to get a leak fixed. So that, all in all, for just the parts there so far, because I still haven't done some of that work, so I might run into a couple other miscellaneous things that I need, but that so far is $615.77 in parts and repairs so far on the bus. I don't think it'll need too much more than that, but like I said, I haven't done some of the repair work physically yet, so I might run into some more stuff that I need. So that's where we're at there. And then the registration was a huge cost on this bus, along with the insurance, because they want to tax me for a bus that's worth, you know, $10,000 to $12,000, when obviously this bus isn't worth that in its state that I bought it in. So with the tax and title and registration fees, $751 just to get this thing legal to drive on the road, because they think it's worth over 10 grand. The insurance was also $592 for the year, so another huge expense. So all in all, just for the bus, not anything else that's in it, just for the legal driving bus with the parts and insurance and the rust repair, we're at $4,791. So $4,791.67 just for the bus. So almost a $5,000 bus, all in all. And then we got to do the conversion. So here's where we're at there. So we got some sealant and some door seals. That was $132.43 altogether. Our front door, along with the other door, but the doors in general, to get a front door on this, that was $65. Miscellaneous fasteners, $21.16 and fasteners. Insulation. So we have our floor insulation, our wall insulation. So for the wool, I paid $369.55 for the 3 boxes. That was supposed to cover like over 200, or yeah, I think it was over 200 square feet at, you know, like double thickness or whatever. So, but I didn't even utilize the full thickness, I don't think. But we have plenty of wool, and that's fine. The floor all together with the foam boards and everything, and the glue to put it down, and tape and whatnot. It was $190.43, $190.43. So the total insulating this bus to how I have it insulated was $559.98. So not horrible, under $600, and we insulated the whole bus, and it's pretty good. Like I said, it's a little bit warmer outside. When I came in the bus today, it was cold, colder in the bus than it was outside. So it was holding temperatures. I got the heater running now, and it is warm in here. So that's our insulation. Other parts that you have not seen yet, I do have some water tanks. We'll get into the details of those, but I paid $171.98 for the water tanks. This water heater right here, take a guess. You know, the price is right of how much I paid for it. All right, you ready? I paid $163.39 shipped. You know, like, and all these prices are after tax and shipping and whatnot. So not even $200, not even $175 for this whole thing, and it's basically brand new. So that's sweet. These things go, to find a new one, you'd be looking at least $200, more than likely $300 to $400, closer to that. All right, solar panels, you guys saw those. You also saw the battery we got. So those solar panels were $300. The battery was $250. So altogether for that solar setup, not including an EcoFlow that I have, that's $550. It's not horrible for basically an entire solar system. You got the panels. They do need new connectors, so that's going to be an additional $20 to add on in there once I buy those. But still, not horrible. My EcoFlow was it's a River 2 Pro with the solar kit that comes with the foldable panels. That was $320 that I paid. So that's a good little backup to have. So I got a lot of stuff from Vevor. As you saw, the heater over there, the diesel heater. I got a diesel heater, I got a cassette toilet, and I got 12-volt water pumps from them thus far. I might get some converters or inverters from them. We'll see when we get there, and if the budget allows. But that's what I got so far: heater, toilet pumps, and the heater. All in all, from Vevor, because I used a coupon, so the prices of each thing that I tell you will be slightly higher than what they actually were, because I got a little discount off of my order. But I paid $240 and a penny for the heater, toilet, and pumps. The heater retailed for $66.90. The toilet retailed for $72.99. And I got 2 12-volt pumps, one for my main feed to the sink and shower, and then one to scavenge the water from the shower, because I'm not doing a gravity-fed tank underneath the bus. So for the 2 pumps, it was $105.80 is what they retail. So they're about 50 some odd bucks a piece. The cabinets, you saw me pick those up. Those were $150 all together, so about $50 a piece. And thus far in lumber, I've spent $89.86, and that's just for these composite boards that I use for the door framing and now this partition wall. So that is everything that I've purchased thus far. Everything else that I've used has been reused, and I already had it on hand: scrap wood, scrap metal, just various things that I just have been sitting around. So altogether, current running total, from all the receipts I found and everything I could think of, we're at $7,255.48. So we're just shy of $7,300, and we are very close to completion. We still need a sink, a faucet. We still need to build a shower, but we do have a lot of materials that we can reuse. I have some old fiberglass and resin that could potentially go towards the shower build. So, and a lot of the interior of this is not going to be built out by me. It's just stuff that I have inside my house, like furniture, like the futon I already have, my dresser I already have, some other storage organizers I already have, and then other stuff is going to be free pallet wood. I'm going to eventually collect some pallets when I can figure out how to transport them back to my house, because gas is expensive right now. It's like $4 a gallon for regular, and the last time I filled this bus up, it was $3 a gallon, which wasn't that long ago, and that was like $100 to fill this bus up, and the bus is empty right now because I had to pick stuff up with it and move stuff around. So yeah, we gotta figure out how to get some pallets here, and then I can use pallet wood to do some more stuff in here. But let's get this water heater installed. I ran into a slight discrepancy because I was trying to make this as high as possible to make it slide in at the top of this rail, so I didn't have to cut that and wouldn't have to fuck with it. But I realized the seal for the window frame is a bit thicker on that side, so there wouldn't be enough room for this overhang because this gets screwed in. So this would interfere with the window seal on the outside. So I gotta lower it down a couple inches or so, or not very much, but about 1.5 inches. So I figured I might as well remove this, sit it on this channel that goes across. It's like a support channel that's welded in. So I'll move this whole box down basically, so that it rests on there, so that gives it some more support, and it can screw all the way around. And I cut this out to the new height, so that's 9 inches there basically. So this is 9 inches here, the same measurement, and that's a 13 by 13 hole. I just used the grinder, which did cause a bit of smoke, but there's not a lot of sawdust everywhere from it. It's just kind of contained. So I removed this drawer off just now so that I can fit this into place and see how it fits up. Got the hole cut out. I used a jigsaw and a grinder. So I now need to apply this foam to the seal here, get the screws ready, and slide that puppy in. Water heater's in. This wood isn't supporting it at this point, it's just in the wall. You can see the screws coming through on the sides and the bottom. So now we need to get the cabinet around there. I need to put the front door back on it, which I'll do that now so you guys can see it from the outside. I just went around with the caulk and sealed that up, as well as a little bit extra on our first step, so it gets sealed all the way around, because I don't want moisture leaking through the step onto my fresh work and wearing away over time. But here is this. I pre-drilled the holes, and then I just stuck the caulk around it after I screwed it in, and it seems to be secure. So I'm gonna throw this on. Well, it's installed and looks all right. I got the black door because it's cheap and easily available, but I think it fits just fine. Like I said, it's installed in the wall. It's not hooked up at all. We still got gas fittings to hook up, as well as water fittings and whatnot. But let's see if we can get that cabinet in place around it. Got the cabinet fitted into place. I did have to do a slight bit more clearancing because this isn't like straight in here. It's a little, you know, hanging down, and that's just how the wall was flat. So it's not level per se, and it's not supposed to be if it's going to be sealed to the exterior wall. But yeah, I got this trimmed down. I cut the end off, which happened to be like right where I needed it. It happened to be right where the divider was, so I cut it right at the back side of that divider, and it fits in there perfectly. The only issue I have now, these slid out too far originally, so I modified them so now they only slide out this far, because there's two sections in there. So this is like how far the first section goes, and then these would slide over the second section to give you room to the next bin. But since I don't need them to go out that far, I wanted them to stop there, so only the one bin comes out, unless I want to remove the drawer entirely. So for now, what I have is basically, I push these little metal pieces in. I'm sure they're not supposed to be pushed in like that, but I did anyways. So those lock it from the two halves from sliding from each other, so it only goes out this far, and the soft close still works. So sweet. Now I just need to figure out, since the face of this is heavier than the back, when I put it on this, it basically just wants to tip off like that. So I need to figure out how to secure the, yeah, like that. So I need to get some way to secure the back to the rail. I use some 3M tape or something, like some double-sided sticky tape. If not, I might install something else to try to mitigate that issue. But I want this to still be removable, so if I do something that's semi-permanent to reinstall that, I'm not going to do it until I do all my plumbing and such, because I still need to move this cabinet in and out. I need to run a gas line, I need water lines, power lines, so all that stuff will probably go through the side or the bottom. So still lots to work out, so I don't know that I'm gonna reinstall that face just yet. I got this mounted up. This is just a cube organizer from Walmart that I already had. I just gotta take these stickers off. They've been on there for a while, but I got that mounted in place. That basically secures this beam, because otherwise I gotta put a bracket on this, and I still might put like an L bracket to go up and onto this this part, but right now it is very secure. I got a bracket there, holding it this against the white framing, and then it's screwed up into the roof in those spots. So this isn't extremely heavy either. It's just a particle board, so that is held up there pretty good. I did put some washers on those to disperse the weight too, and I don't plan to put a ton of weight. That's just like some extra storage. So I got the cube the cubes that I can put in there, and then on this side there's gonna be a coat rack here. Not sure how high it's gonna be yet, because I gotta measure how wide it is, because I don't want to hit my head on it coming around this corner. But then again, this trash can is also in the way, so I gotta figure out how much room I have right here for that coat rack to go, because it also has a little shelf on it, so it might end up going a little bit higher. And then in that point I'll put, or in that case I'll put another beam across to hang that off of. But otherwise I can utilize the space from here from both sides, which I guess is kind of neat. As for this diesel heater, I haven't really talked about it much. I thought about putting it there, or I'm thinking about putting it there, because it is convenient for a couple reasons to be in this location. It's right next to the door, so when I need to fill it up with diesel, it's easily convenient. I don't have to track any potential gas through the bus anywhere in a gas can or any other thing like that. The other reason is that's a metal down there that goes to the exterior, which means, and the exhaust on this is on the bottom. So I could basically just cut a hole straight down and run the exhaust straight out the bottom, which is also super convenient, rather than cutting a hole in my wood subfloor, my flooring, my insulation, and going through there, or looping it around to go through that piece of metal, if I were to put it on that side of things, because the exhaust basically has to route downstream, because it's like gravity a little bit, so you don't want it going back up, or else it may not exhaust properly. So that is a convenient location, but it does kind of take up a weird amount of space here, because it, like, I don't want it too close to this, because I can now open this glove box. Not that there's a ton of storage in there, but I do have the option to open this now that that bar's not in the way. So I think this may go there. I gotta check the instructions and make sure that the clearance in the back is enough, because that's just an intake fan for the exhaust right here. All right, discovery made regarding this location. I was just talking about the diesel heater, and I'd love to, you know, position it this way, but it just doesn't fit with the glove box. But, you know, I started looking around. I was like, well, you know, I might be able to just take this whole glove box out. And I was like, there's no passenger seat, so I doubt there's a passenger airbag. And I took this cover off, which was pretty easy. I just started prying on it, and then I found 3 tiny little screws, which all I had to do was pull this back to get at those little tiny ratchet. So, and this is a huge, you know, storage cubby that could be taken advantage of. There's the connector for a non-existent airbag. But yeah, I think I can take this out, just a couple screws, and then I think we might be able to just slide this right in there, and then we can still utilize a lot of this space. Got all that removed, and this fits in here beautifully. I could raise this up a couple inches, just to put it really up in here, but I think this is a pretty good spot for it. Regardless, I think it has to be raised off the floor a couple inches regardless, just because of the heat. But I think this is a good spot for it. That'll give it plenty of airflow back there, and also it lets me just like see into these weird areas of the bus, in case the leak, if I have any other leaks coming through, I should be able to see them a little bit better if they're in this area. But yeah, and this would be pointed in a great area that would be blowing out with a little vent. I can control it. It's got a remote, but that would allow me to, but yeah, that would allow me to utilize that space there. I could still stack up some shoes there for maybe a little shoe rack, and I can still easily vent the exhaust out right underneath the fender there. So it's meant. I got the water tanks in here. These are, I believe these are 30-gallon tanks. I got 2 of the same tank. I forget exactly how much they were a piece, but I'll put it on the screen right now. I got these from Class A Customs. They sell a bunch of different freshwater tanks, gray water tanks, black water tanks. A ton of tanks. They were the cheapest ones that I could find for a reasonable size, and they have all sorts of different dimensions and capacities, but these were the least inexpensive for the largest capacity. So least inexpensive 30-gallon tank I could find, and that seemed to be the best option, because that could last me a good little while by myself. You know, 30 gallons for one person, in an emergency situation, that would last me a good amount of time off grid. And then I got the gray water storage, since the toilet isn't going to be connected to any sort of gray water or black water. It's its own thing. I'm not really worried about that being the same size. I'll just have to make sure that I don't overfill it. But basically the idea is this tank is the gray water, the lowest one, and this will be the fresh water. So through that window, I can fill the fresh tank through through that top port, so I can just put a fitting, or through this guy, so I can just put a fitting to put that on. And depending on the sink layout, because I think I've already decided I'm not going to put my refrigerator cooler right here. I think I'm going to put it on that side, underneath there, because it'll fit under there and be out of the way. Because otherwise, stacking these two tanks vertically, it goes right up to the countertop height, and that's without even a piece of board in between, which I don't think this should be sitting on that. It needs to be supported on its own thing. So I want to make a little platform or something to go across so that this isn't sitting on the other tank, because water is heavy. So I want that to be supported on its own, and depending on how I position these, whether I stack them vertically or do one and one, or put them both flat, that will determine how big of a sink I can run, because obviously the sink's going to come down. So right now this would give me like a foot in a sink. It'd be really weird, but if I were to lay this one down like the other one, I could get a little bit bigger sink and a proper depth. And this area will all be plumbing and maybe a little bit of cleaning storage or something right there. I can leave this open and put a curtain across or whatever. But basically, freshwater tank will get filled through a fill port that's within the bus, so I don't have to cut another hole. So you'll just pop the emergency window. The fill port will be right there, and then you can fill it up. Then this tank will be gravity fed to a pump, so that one of these, whatever ends up being the lower half-inch fitting, will go to the feed pump, which I'm thinking about mounting on the side of this cabinet, just to make the ease of things, so then I can just run that line to the pump. On the wall here, the pump will run to the water heater and the sink, and then the sink will gravity drain into the gray tank. The shower will get pumped into the gray tank from back there, and then I will also have a drain valve that goes through the floor, so there will be a hole cut either in the floor or in the side of the bus there for the gray water drain. And now that I'm looking at it, I kind of prefer to go through the side of the bus, but through the floor of the bus would be more discreet. So we'll figure that out, but that's roughly how that will go. So it'll all be contained within the insulated area of the bus, so the likelihood of it freezing is lower because I'll have insulation there, and I can tack some more insulation around them. But yeah, those are my tanks to the water heater to everything else. It's raining right now as well, so that's a good and bad thing, because it's not as bad thing because I just sealed that water heater today, so I hope it's dry enough to not be ruined by the rain. But it's a good thing because I can continue to inspect for more leaks. But yeah, that's where we're at so far. I think it's coming along pretty well. Currently loaded with a ton of pallets because I need free wood. So they're all kind of bouncing around, so we're gonna see how this drive home goes. We're about 40 minutes from home, 35, 40 minutes from home. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I cleared the bus out and loaded in my pallets because I need to cover the insulation. So yeah, I'll see you when I get back. All right, the pallets are unloaded. Now I need to break them down, and hopefully that will be an easy job with this. I'll watch some videos, but I guess we'll see how it goes. I was able to get 3 of these 8-foot long pallets, and then the rest of these are just regular ones. It's just what was in the pile for free at this one place that I looked. There's a lot of listings for free pallets, so if I need more, which I probably will, there's plenty of places and options. So I'm gonna start breaking these down so they're not such an eyesore. All right, we're getting through the pile, cutting these down. It is a little bit of work to cut them down because just getting the saw on the right angle, because I'm using short blades and, you know, getting nicked up. But I don't know, I think this is gonna be good. I like the look of this, you know, like this reclaimed wood look. I don't know about you guys, but I think it looks pretty cool. Even with the little nails left in it, if I end up keeping those in there, I don't know. I think it gives it a good, imperfect, rustic look. Always I'll clean these up a little bit, maybe hit them with the sander a tiny bit, just to knock down some of the rough edges. But I think it'll be pretty good to put up. All you have to do is screw it into the walls. But yeah, I got plenty more to break through. This one's pretty nice. But yeah, good little pile going so far. All right, I loaded up some of the wood to, you know, clean up because the sun is starting to go down. It's getting later in the afternoon. I only have what 3 and 2 partial pallets to cut through. Some pile of poop over here. I don't know what's been living underneath this car. Almost looks like a rabbit, which would be funny. This would be a rabbit living under the rabbit. But anyways, I got this much separated. It's not cleaned or sanded yet, but just look how much wood I got for free. Like just a trip to, you know, another town. I also got all these little bits. There's some long pieces in there. There's like a brand new piece of wood right there, 8-footer. But yeah, I just grabbed it out of the pile, and the amount of money I've saved already with this, even though it's some dirty wood, like just getting anywhere near this much wood and the cost, like versus free pallets, amazing. Get yourself some free pallets to build your bus. And this is hopefully going to cover all this insulation. So the nastiest boards I will try to save or try to put behind the cabinets where it's not going to be as visible, so it doesn't really matter as much, and I'll try to use the nicer, better looking ones for the walls or the ceiling. I really would love to do a live edge, you know, slab wood ceiling, but I don't know if that's going to be feasible. Maybe, we'll see. I want to get this AC buttoned up since it is going to be staying at this point. I need to reinstall the drain hose, which I might be able to put a bucket at the end of that and collect the water as another means of water collection, because, you know, people do that with ACs. Is that hose clean? That's questionable, but it's a thought, you know, extracting the water from the air. So I need to put that line in. I need to run the wiring. I need to hook the wiring back up to it and snake it from there around. I plan to have a little shelf right here, so that'll hold wiring on that side. I also need to get the hoses secured and stuff, but that's why I want to get this other hose in. So yeah, I'm gonna work on AC stuff, get the shroud in so I know where the wood needs to cover, because I don't want it interfering. So yeah, got the AC unit pretty much installed besides the wiring. I haven't secured the hoses because I want to put the wood wall on first so I can screw stuff into it. So I'm gonna start cleaning up some of these pieces of wood. Still cooking along here. I got these ones done. As you can see, they look quite nice, and all I did was sand them. Took a break from sanding because I want to put a couple of these boards up, so that sanding boards isn't all I'm doing today, because it is a bit of a time-consuming task. So I think these wider boards I'm going to put across here. Give me 1 second, let me get the drill. Drills. One for screwing, one for drilling. I was just using one drill the last time I was doing this, and it sucked. And I see people online doing that too, which must suck. But, oh shit. Here's what I'm gonna do. So I got it right at the top of the window frame, and it covers almost this entire cavity, as you can see. And I'll put another board up here, maybe not as wide of one, and that'll cover just above that, and then it gets into the curved area, which I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna do that. But let me get this one installed real quick, and then yeah, we'll keep doing some stuff. I'm using sheet metal screws, by the way, because I'm going into metal. Just with one screw, that board's already quite solid, but we're gonna put some more in it. All right, just give me a minute. Here's where I'm at. Oh yeah. So I got 2 rows of the wider boards on the wall side because these are a little bit thicker than the regular pallet ones. So that'll be nice for screwing the shelves into. And that's where this wire loom and stuff will run through on the back of the shelf, so you won't even see it. So those just go past this just slightly because that's all going to get boarded up too, and that'll be another shelf as I've told you. But yeah, I'm just running the screws along this beam. I've seen people screw wood into the side of these to do stuff like this, but I mean, if I'm gonna have to do drilling and screwing to screw wood into the side, might as well save the wood and just drill it straight into the body itself. So I got these slats going around the curve just like that. The shelf will go there, as I just said. I've ran out of these screws that I had laying around. I might have some more somewhere, so I either gotta find some more or go buy some more. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. We just gotta keep it going. I did that one there as well so that I can put the hook thing on one of those, which I don't have any out here, it doesn't look like, but it's just the, you know, the retainer with the hole on it so that these can all get secured up there. But yeah, got more wood to sand, got more wood to cut, got more to screw up, got plenty of work to do, that's for sure. I went and bought some more screws. The original ones I had were 1.5 inch long. But since we are working with some thicker boards and these also these thin pallet boards, I don't really need 1.5 inches to secure these guys down. I might need 1.5 inches just to get good coverage through the thicker ones. So I got 1.25 inches, so 1/4 inch less than just because they didn't have any bigger boxes of these, so most I could get is 50 at a time. So I thought I might as well buy 50 short ones for the thinner boards, and then I'll use the longer ones for the thicker boards. So let's keep cracking away at it. Another change I did is I got the taper heads. Since I'm going into wood at this point, hopefully they'll sit a little bit more flush than the button head ones. These ones sank in a little bit, but that's okay. Here's where we're at. I started this side because I wanted to keep the feng shui, I guess you could call it. So the big boards, these bigger, thicker boards, I left on both sides on the starter part because they fill in that area so well. And like I said, the thicker boards will be better for securing the shelves too. And then I started putting those boards up. You probably realize I stopped right there because this will be the bathroom area. So I'm gonna have to do something a little bit different with the walls here to somewhat waterproof them, but I have an idea which we'll get into. But for now, I just ran those to there, which also gave them a little offset, which is good. And then I started the next row, so this area will be a little bit different. I went back to breaking down some pallets, which started kind of pissing me off because I'm getting a little hangry. Haven't eaten all day, so yeah, I got that row up, I got that row up, and it's started to come over. And no, that's not hanging. I mean, it is hanging, but that's just the warp of it right there, so that's why it fits like that. But I got some more boards sanded down. I'm working on sanding some more down. Yeah, a lot of woodworking. I'm trying to get as much stuff done outside that needs to be done outside as I can while I have the nice weather. So yeah, I need to get into closing this up, but I needed to figure out how I want to do it and with what wood, because one of the pallets that I just broke down, I created a bunch of short pieces like that, just because it was, like I said, it was breaking down the pallets and starting to piss me off. Everything's starting to piss me off because I'm getting hangry, and it is extremely windy, so my hat's almost flying off. So yeah, I'm gonna take a little break, and then I'll get back out here and hopefully continue putting some wood up. Progress report. We got some of the roof done. Shit. It's looking good in my opinion. I don't know about y'all. Whoops. But yeah. I mean, I know there's little gaps and cracks, you know, it's not perfectly even, but that's the whole damn point, you know, is to make it look rustic and imperfect, just like this whole bus is, you know. And I like the used wood look, and this is no stain or anything yet, so I could still stain it or seal it or do something to it later on, or paint it. So there's still a lot of options, but that's how far we are. We got a little portion of it. That's coming out good, at least I think, you know, for unfinished boards, like, or not, you know, well prepped board. All I did was sand them down so they didn't have too many splinters on them, and then I could, you know, run my hand down them without, you know, hurting myself. Yeah, I like it. What do y'all think? So I'm finally doing something different than I've been doing, because this is kind of a long span, and I'm using these shorter boards right now, or else I have to sand down some longer ones again. So it's kind of a long span to go from here to the end, which isn't going to reach that part with just that screwed in. I don't want one screw holding it in. So I took this little offcut and put a wood screw into the end of this one, and that's, you know, in there. So when I put this next board up, it'll be supported at the end and there, and then I can start another board and it'll screw into there and go that way. So yeah, that's one little change that I'm doing, but didn't require any extra wood. It's just an offcut and some wood screw. That is gonna be a wrap for today. It looks like it's about to start storming, and this is where I got so far. I got up to there, all the way down the bus, minus the shower area, of course, because I have an idea for that. I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet, but I have an idea. And that is basically covered up to where the metal is, so that's good. The metal is really easy to cover because I can put screws wherever, you know, so where the ends meet up is fine, for any length of board. But I cleaned up outside. That's mainly what I spent my time doing, you know, just recently, because it looks like it's about to storm. And I don't want to leave all this shit out, you know, getting wet. So that's all the scrap wood currently. Can't really burn it here because I'm not supposed to have bonfires. I put all of this. This is wood that's either split or warped that I couldn't cut down, because I cut down whatever I could that was split and put it in a pile over there. So this was all just like junk wood basically, unless I needed some really shitty boards to make something out of. But I covered up the mud for now since it's extremely muddy. This will keep me from tracking as much shit into the bus. You can see it all leaking through. So maybe that'll help with the mud situation. Maybe not, we'll find out. Only got 2 more pallets. I've been using that one as a table, so I might keep it for a little while. But I got this one and a broken one behind it for a couple extra boards. But yeah, it's looking pretty good, I would say. Like, look at that.